All right. So after the presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, some on the Twitter machine observed that Biden, consistent with his performance, in which his age definitely shone through, you have here a Twitter account from Greg Price pointing out that Joe Biden apparently had to lead Joe off of the stage after it was done. So here he is standing pretty still. This is zoomed in footage, so it's going to be a little grainy. This is some forensic
this is after
here.
He went and rallied the crowd.
I think this was
we
before.
were watching on MSNBC. Oh, this was before that?
Yeah, if you notice, he's on the debate stage now. So this
and also, just as a medical
wasn't
professional,
he on the debate stage then?
No, that was a different room.
Just as a medical professional, everyone ended the Russell Wow drinking game when the debate ended. No longer applied.
So here is some footage of Biden standing at the podium. Trump is gone by this point. You see the CNN logo, so this is the debate room. Here's Jill.
President Trump walking off the stage. The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever, now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals, from our CNN Flash poll and swing state focus group.
Oh, yeah.
That's
great
getting fact checks from our Daniel Dale and new reporting from inside both campaigns.
After that debate
political commentator Scott Jennings, President Trump walking off.
He has to be walked down the stairs.
And you know what? All I heard with that narration, all I heard is, and there is President Joe Biden, blah, 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 da, da, da. And the question on everyone's mind tonight is, and did we fuck this up?
Yeah, right. Well, Jill Biden tried to be a good wife because after the debate, Biden went in and tried to rally his supporters. They had a little rally room set up, and here's Jill Biden trying to convince him, meaning Joe, that he won.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
That's embarrassing.
Ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Oh my God.
Hey, look.
Oh my God.
Trying to be a good wife.
No, that's not a good wife. She's fucking, she is scum. She is scum. She knows her husband is not up to this, and she's going to drag him around and parade him around like she's been doing for years. He was not all there in 2020. And she's been dragging him around, letting him play president like this until now. You let him go out there and humiliate himself, and then you're still going to stand there and pretend this guy's okay.
What is she going to do? I mean, it's too late now.
Get him in the fucking car and get the fuck out of there and have him resign the next day.
She should have
I don't
made
think
that
that's on the
decision a
table.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. That's the problem with these people. They should have made this decision a long time ago. It was clear.
If she gave a shit about him, he would not be there right now.
Right.
Let's watch this one more time.
If anybody gave a shit about him, he wouldn't be here right now.
Let's watch this one more time.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
I mean,
oh, wow, man.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that? I mean, yeah, she could say, listen, you got to drop out. I think at this point, that's going to have to come from upper management. I don't think that can come. I don't think that's going to come from within the family at this point. That's going to have to come from people who have the kind of power to make it a pretty easy call, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say.
Look at that vacant smile after she said that. That's like, you ever been in a nursing home and people have really regressed back to that childhood, and the nurse or sometimes their spouse who doesn't have dementia will say, look at you, you ate everything, and they'll have that kind of a smile on their face.
Like that.
That's how he looks. That's how he looks. Oh, you answered every question, Joe. Like, that is, you're talking to someone with dementia, not the president of the fucking United States. You answered every question. Oh, you ate all the applesauce, Joe. Look at that smile. That's just what you see in a nursing home.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it is, and call me a shitlib if you will, but like, I legitimately feel very bad for this man. I feel very bad for him.
You know, I
You know,
feel
I
like
don't like his
karmically
policies. I hate him
he's
being
getting
in
a small
charge.
bit of what he deserves.
I
Honestly,
mean, sure,
like
he's
in
gotten a
terms of
small
karma,
bit, but but
couldn't
at the
happen
same
to a
time,
nicer
like,
guy.
well, it still hurts my feelings, you know, to watch that and to just, because to me, he's not there. That's not really him anymore.
Sure,
You're just
sure,
using a husk of him. You
sure.
know, like, I'd just rather remember him as like the cruel motherfucker that just said everything out loud instead of pretending to be a sleepy grandpa, you know, that I got to feel sorry for. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, it is hard to have like when I think about Gaza, I don't even think about what Biden's allowing to happen in Gaza. I think of what Anthony Blinken's allowing to happen in
Right.
Gaza. I think of what
Jake
Jake Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Like, I don't even
Right.
think of Joe Biden as being an agent in this. I see
Right.
Biden as a man who was always a company man. He was always. I always said, you know, he's like the George Clooney character from the Up in the Air movie, right? The sad bastard company man whose job it is to go and communicate to everyone how what this thing of ours that we have, this system of ours that we have, is as good as it'll ever be, and unfortunately it's not good enough for you, and that's very sad, but there's really nothing we can do. That's how I always kind of thought of Joe Biden. And Christopher Hitchens had a good phrase to describe the Clinton years, which was nothingness punctuated by nastiness. And that's the way I've thought of Joe Biden's career too. Like, mostly forgettable, punctuated by, you know, just like horrible cruelty, racism, warmongering, right? But mostly he's just there. Mostly he's just the Zelig, right? Who's been in there for 50 years, a company man who just kind of goes along. And now that's really all he's capable of being. And so, yeah, is it easy to like actively hate him? Not really, because you get the sense that like Tony Blinken and Lloyd Austin and Jake Sullivan are 100 times more responsible for the state of things than he is. But at the same time, do you feel bad for him? No, because in his prime, he was a fucking scumbag.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but my thing is it's like right now that like Anthony Blinken, all those other people, they got 20 years. They got 20 years to fuck up this country. They got 20 years to terrorize the world. Biden's got 2. You know, like, I don't know. It's hard, and plus he's just a total fucking puppet. Essentially, I mean, if he's such a company man, they should have let the man fucking retire when it was time. That's what they should have done.
That's on him, man. And this is what I mean. Like, look, like, you know, when Chuck Todd or Van Jones or David Axelrod, you know, they're out there saying ultimately this is up to him. He has the delegates he needs for the nomination. If he accepts the nomination, there's really nothing they can do about it. It's really up to him.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he seems like exactly the kind of piece of shit who, in his final act, will just drag everyone down with him.
Yeah.
I kind of get that hunch too. I mean, just because look at what they've been doing. They've been telling him he's a big, strong boy.
Yeah.
For years.
And look, man, like,
you answered all your questions, didn't you? Oh, we're all so proud of you, Joe.
That's the thing, man. When it comes to her, like, I mean, you would think, okay, maybe she could talk some sense into him. I don't know. I get the sense that, like, it would have to come from people who have power over him, if you know what I mean, to twist his arm in that way. Like, I don't think she can do it. I don't think so. I think she's along for the ride, and the ball's in his court.
She's getting money to play him. That's her reward. Like, she's getting money to puppeteer him. But, you know, she's being paid by the guys that control him.
You think so?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like Fetterman's wife. It's true. She's another one.
She's another one. I don't know, man. I don't know about
these
that.
Body snatchers are everywhere.
I think these dynamics can be kind of like what they appear on the surface. Like, I think she figures it's his call, you know. It's his call, and what it's going to be is going to be. But yeah, no, they tried to do a little bit of damage control. Oh, there she is, Winifred. Oh, a cute little dog.
Oh, it's a good-looking dog.
Yeah. She's a cool-looking dog. Yeah, no, I mean, they tried to do a little bit of damage control there after the debate. What we're seeing here was a little rally that they put together where Biden spoke to some supporters afterwards. And here she is warming up the crowd for them. So that's what that is. That's not a separate event. That must have been, they must have had a little rally room at the venue set up. So that happened almost immediately after. Which again, I mean, the risk of not just getting in the car and going home, I don't know what they think they're doing here.
Yes.
This was the end of the road. If you have any common sense about you at all.
Isn't a rally room just a casting couch?
Well, they used to have the spin room, but now they have the rally room.
They didn't
even let reporters
anymore.
Well, I don't think they let reporters near the place. I think they cleared it out. I mean, Gavin Newsom gave the interview, so he must have been somewhere. Like they had people there, but they weren't in the studio. And I don't know how close they were able to get. Maybe they were in another venue nearby or whatever. But this had to be in the same venue because it happened immediately after. They didn't have time.
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to get in there unless you have a opinion that can smoke tear gas.
This is Joe Biden is kind of ended his career as the Willy Loman of politics.
Okay.
This is very death of a salesman. I was a very big man in New England once.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean that is quite the way to go out. But we will see. I mean, it is going to be a very interesting few days right now to see, look, the conversation is going to be right now, can they get him out of the race? And if they can't get him out of the race, how do they regroup after this? Like, how do you recover from this? I mean, Chuck Todd said this is this is unrecoverable, and it was unrecoverable.
Well, it is. It is. He was unrecoverable a long time ago.
Yeah.
Most people don't like Donald Trump. The fact that he's burying your candidates, that's what was so remarkable about those panels. Like, what, you just found out?
Right.
They have such contempt for the public. They just ignored all that. Go ahead, Tusker.
I was just going to say, all of those pundits, I've seen them on these shows, like rotating in and out. They've had how many years to discuss the phenomenon of Trump? And then to also watch Biden, and then to all of a sudden, it took this debate for them to understand something that we were telling them years ago, that everyone was trying to tell them years ago, that they wrote editorials about, that they told us that we were conspiracy theorists about, that we didn't know they scolded us.
Well, this is a running theme of our time across entertainment, across politics, across culture. I don't think there's ever been a society in human history where elites and the populace were so completely disconnected from each other. When you look at the analysis that elites have of what's going on, it is so at odds with the public. This is relatively trivial, but we did something on an overall Disney piece, and you look at these Rotten Tomato scores for these movies where the audience score is 13 and the critic score is 90, and it says something about this just complete disconnect from the public and this elite class that thinks somehow they're going to be able to bring that public along. That if they just keep giving them what they don't want, eventually they're going to eat their peas.
No.
The idea eventually they're going to come for you, that doesn't seem to cross their minds. But if you look at the results of the elections in Europe last week, they're coming for you. They're clearly coming for you. You've driven them to the point that you are empowering reactionary movements.
Please clap.